It's the Flow Friday Night Sports Show, and joining us on the line now to talk Great Flinders football, the man who put his feet up over the weekend, had the weekend off. Well, sort of anyway. Chris Prime joins us on the line. How are you, Primey?
I'm good, Regs.
Headed back to one of your old staunches, one of the old stomping grounds over the weekend, I believe?
I did. I went and watched Ports versus Cow at Port Neal. First game I'd seen Ports play for, let's say, 15 years. So that was good to get back there and catch up with some old friends.
You would have enjoyed the work of the big fella in the goal square for Ports as well. I think he kicked a few.
Yeah, young Sid Masters kicked a lazy 14. And yeah, look, I think he had kicked 7 in the third quarter. Just outstanding at full forward, like strong presence, strong mark, and quick on the lead. So when the boys used him well, it was true to watch.
Good stuff. Well, even when there is a buy on offer for your Tumby Bay boys, there's still footy to watch. So good to see you get back to your old stomping ground there. Let's have a look at what did happen, though, in Great Flinders football. I know you've got some reports on the weekend's matches there. Why don't we start with what was the match of the round? It was billed as such in the lead-up. We were all looking forward to it. Cummins Kapini taking on United Yolana. And it was, the rising champs against the established ones. And the rising champs got the job done here. 13-12-90 against United Yolana, 9-6-60. A 5-goal win. It was in the balance pretty much before or after half-time, I should say. This game was pretty close. But they really did pulverise the Eagles in the first half, didn't they?
Yeah, look, Tigers, I think, got out of the blocks well. I think we talked about last week, like their midfield is very strong. With Yowie up forward, that just adds to it. I think Pakey was outstanding in the first half from reports I have seen, and and I think Yowie kicked the first 4, so they kicked off well, and 7 goal lead at half time, and Yolanda, as you'd expect, thought, well, it's not good enough, and fought back. And I think in the last quarter got within a couple of goals before Cougars got away with it.
Exactly right. 7-8-50 to 139 at half time. Scoreless in the first quarter, the Eagles. They were obliterated early, but fought back as good sides do after half time. Too little too late, though. Yowie Wagner with 9. Crittenden 2, Martin 2 for the Eagles, and Luke Howie 2 as well. Pake, Wagner, Green and Coombs named in their best for Cougars. Norton, Glover, Carr and Laurie named in the best for the Eagles. Looking forward to seeing those two match up again later in the season, Primey.
I think as each side comes about and they go, well, let's try this, something different. So, I think these two are two pretty outstanding sides, and Yolana won't be happy with the result. So next time they play, they'll be, champion at the bit, I reckon.
I would agree with that. Lock took on Air United, and for some reason we gave Air United a silly chance in this one. They had one goal in mind going into the game, Air United, and couldn't muster it. Lock 17-14, 116. The Saints just 2 behinds. Terrible scoreline, this one to read, but obviously Lock, you can only beat who's out there for you to beat, but gee whiz, what's happening at the Saints? That's terrible.
And I think once again, it's what we talk about. They get the ball down there, but can't quite finish it off. I had a chat to a couple of the Lock boys Saturday night, and like the first quarter and a half, the pressure from the Saints was really good. I think quarter time was only 1 goal kick for the first quarter.
Yep.
But Ian United just couldn't maintain that pressure, and when they had the ball, couldn't finish it off on the scoreboard. So, unfortunately, it's not a pretty looking scorecard. But we keep saying United probably 2 or 3 players, key players short. They battle hard, and they can sort of stay with sides for that half a game, and then they just can't quite keep up.
Yeah, fair enough. Tiller booted 6, Hetzel 5, Seal 3 for the Lock crew. Glover, Hetzel, Tiller named best. For them, for the Saints, it was Telfer, Gale and Jude named in their best. But what turned out to be the match of the round, we said there'd be two beauties, and this one turned out to be the closest match of the round at Elliston. It was Elliston Districts taking on Ramblers. A good start for the Roosters, but they couldn't go on with it. They went down in the end at 9-8-62 to Ramblers 11-6-72. Big win for the Magpies. Puts them certainly in contention for the double chance still, although you'd think that's probably out of reach for them. They will certainly play finals now on the back of that win, you would expect, and pretty solid result for them.
Oh, look, it is a good result. Yeah, it does make it pretty certain that, they're going to be in the four. And Elliston will be, bitterly disappointed probably after getting away to a good start and having Ramblers there at half time, like having a good 2 or 3 goal lead. I think they had a couple of yellow cards in the second half, and playing one man short for a quarter of footy never going to help your game. Ramblers know that they never give up. And look, you've talked to anyone for the last 25, 30 years, you always know Ramblers are going to keep coming, and they believe they're going to get there, and Saturday they did.
Exactly. Young Pedler was the man who cashed in up forward, booted 5 for Ramblers. Cox, Micken, Stoll and Pilgrim. Cody Pilgrim named in their best. For Elliston, Cody Rosalia booted 4. Drew booted 2. Shepherd, Williams, Rosalia and Wadsworth named in their best, along with the evergreen Ross Bascom, who just keeps getting it done. So I think there's some upside for Elliston Districts, but Ramblers, plenty of upside for them. This young crew mixed with some older, wiser heads could put some pressure on the top two come finals time.
Oh, look, I think they could. You get that balance right, the youth and the experience, and they seem to have that at the moment. It's a good balance. And not just that, going forward, there's good signs for Ramblers, not just this year, but in a few years to come.
Yep, no doubt. Primey, just before we slip on into this round of matches, I wanted to talk to you about a new rule which Great Flinders Football League has come up with. It's posted this to its Facebook page recently, and it says the following. The Great Flinders Football League has introduced a new rule in the interest of player safety that will become effective immediately from this weekend for all grades. The rule is as follows. Any careless or malicious high contact to the head with actions such as careless striking to the head, fending off with elbows, sling and dumping tackles will now result in a free kick to the impacted player and will also now result in an automatic 25-metre penalty. What do you think about this new rule, Primey? And, let's just get your thoughts first of all and see where it takes us.
Well, it's an interesting one. It's been in play, I think, for a couple of games now. Yeah. I haven't seen any difference in the way the umpires are umpiring it. I haven't seen a 25-page yet. My general feeling is, yes, we're trying to protect the head. That's a good thing. But the way this is worded should mean that if someone's going for a mark and gets a little clip around the ears, the other person's trying to spoil, never, too high a contact, it should be a free kick plus 25. So every high contact is automatically, by this rule, a 25-metre penalty as well. I understand the idea behind it, but I just don't think they've quite got the rule correct.
Okay. In general, what do you think about associations and leagues in football, regardless of where they're from, changing various rules or having certain playing conditions for their own local competitions? I've got to tell you off the top, I'm not a great fan of it. I've spoken out against this before. The rules of the game are the rules of the game, and I think when you start introducing different things like this, rather than bringing your own rule, maybe you could be lobbying the people who do the rules of the game and see if you can get some extra penalties written in, perhaps, for those high shots. These guys are paid, they're professionals, they sit down and they analyse all these things, and they do the various different networking and consulting that you need to do to make sure a rule actually sort of gets to where you'd like it to be. It seems to me like it's a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction to something that may have happened on or off the field, and I'm not sure if it's a reaction to one specific event or a series of events that have been going on. I don't know, but it seems to me like it's a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction, Primey.
I think so. I think you're right. The rules are already there. We have a high contact rule. If you're fending someone off the umpire and you hit someone high, the umpire turns the ball over.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Like, if you get one around the ear, the umpire gives the free kick. At the end of the day, we have umpires. You like them or you hate them, it doesn't matter. Like, they go out there and they do their job. I think this is just throwing something else in there that isn't really necessary. The sling tackles and the dangerous tackles, it's a very broad stroke, and I don't think enough of them are paid in the first place before they brought in the 25 metres. I just think it opens the umpires up for more ridicule from the crowd because it's just added an extra grey area.
Yeah.
We play under SANFL rules, and adding a little bit extra here or there, it doesn't really make sense. It doesn't help our umpires go out and umpire somewhere else if they don't have the rules, or our players go and play for a club in a different league. We're not apples with apples. Like, it just makes it a bit difficult for people trying to help other clubs out and umpires helping other associations out.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Prime. It's an interesting one. Like I said, I can see what it is that Great Flinders are trying to do here, but I always get very nervous when leagues and associations start implementing their own rules, and all of a sudden you open up Pandora's box there for mine. But this particular one, like you say, probably could be worded a little bit better, and I don't like the idea of and don't take this the wrong way, Prime, but I don't like the idea of a full forward leading out, trying to take the ball, getting an ear massage, and then getting marched to the goal line for a shot from the goal line. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
It does for us blokes with cauliflower ears.
Of course it does. All right, mate, let's leave that.
President of the full forwards union.
Me, I was an old fullback, so I'm not a fan. Quick check of the ladder. Cummins Kipenny still undefeated, 7-0. The Eagles now 5-2 in second spot. Lock and Ramblers within touching distance of that second spot, but they'll need to beat the Eagles at some point in the second half of the season to go past them. Lock into third on percentage from Ramblers in fourth spot now. Some 12 percentage points back, so they've got some work to do on percentage. Elliston outside of the top four at the moment on 3 wins, 4 losses. That's Elliston District, sorry. Tumby Bay, 2 and 5, so still within touching distance of a final spot, your boys. And the Saints won't play finals. They are 8 losses from 8 starts. So that leads us into a very interesting round of matches to come, round 10 this weekend. And why don't we have a look at your boys first? This is a game that you pretty much must win, I would have thought, Primey. We'll start in Cummins. Ramblers taking on Tumby Bay. Big game for both clubs.
Oh, it is. It's if Tumby A-grade seriously wants to play finals, they have to win this week. It just simply comes down to that. We're basically 2 games behind Ramblers now. Funnily enough, I think we play them twice for the rest of the year. So
yep.
We have to put our hand up this week and have a win. And I think hopefully there's a couple of boys back from suspension and injury and alike. So the boys are pretty keen. Like, they've been keen. They've played some good footy. It's just be able to hold it for 4 quarters. So it will be a tough challenge because I think Ramblers are travelling pretty well. So, but I won't sit on the fence any longer. I will back the Tumby boys by 3 goals this week.
As you should. Ramblers will start favourites, of course, but you've got to back your own boys in. So all the best to both sides. One thing we do know about Ramblers and Tumby Bay clashes is, regardless of where they are on the ladder, they're normally close affairs. So should be a cracking game of football, that one. This one I'm really, really looking forward to. Lock taking on Cummins Kapini at Lock, the big ground for the Roos. If they're somewhere near full strength, Cummins Kapini haven't lost yet. They'll start favourites, and rightly so. But the Lock boys would give themselves a silly chance here of causing an upset, I reckon.
Yeah, they will. Once again, they've been playing some good footy. I think it will still come down to, as we always say, down to that midfield battle. And I think Cougars probably have got the strongest midfield going around at the moment. They've got a number of guys that can go through there, and it's not just having 3 or 4, it's probably 7 or 8 that can play 5-10 minutes in there and just give everyone a break. So it's a pretty hard task when you come up against them to match. You can match 2 or 3, but number 5, 6 and 7, that's hard for other teams to match. So Lock will battle, and I don't think it'll be a big margin, but I think Cougars will get over the top of them.
Yeah, I think you're right. And the last game could almost be the match of the round. Elliston Districts, who'll be ruining giving up a lead last week. That was a really important game for them that they've blown in the end by 10 points. They'll be taking on United Yolanda, and there's never a good time to get the Eagles. After a loss is not a good time to get anyone, particularly a champion side like the Eagles. But I tell you what, both sides will be absolutely desperate to win this. Elliston must pick one of these sort of games up to play finals, and the Eagles need to shore up that second spot at the moment in the double chance. So there's plenty to play for.
I think all games this week there's a fair bit to play for. And Yolanda will be disappointed with their game last week, and so will Elliston. So both sides, Elliston Districts, both sides will be looking for a like that bounce, and both will be used to playing on a small oval, running different directions, both these ovals. But it will be a tough matchup. Elliston Districts will battle hard. It's probably their struggle has been all year is getting a big enough score to win games. But keeping that 8 to 10 goals, maybe 11 or 12 on a good week, and like that won't get you over the line against the top sides. I think they just need to find an extra avenue or 2 to goals, and I think that would make the difference. Like, if you're only kicking 12 against Yolanda, I don't reckon you come out on top.
Yeah, it's a fair call. Look, you're right about the ground too. United Yolanda is deceptively small. It's got that big grass area down the back and sort of southern end, the other end of the club rooms. Yeah, it's and it gives you that illusion of extra space when there really isn't any, doesn't it?
It is. It's actually, and it's yes. One end seems longer than the other too when you're playing out there.
I know that doesn't sound. I know that for those who might not know the Couplex all that well, I know that doesn't sound logical, but that is actually true.
Yes, and there is a slight up and down effect, but yes. Apart from that, I think Yolanda will get away with a win. So they don't lose many at home.
That's true. They don't, particularly big games, and this for them is a big game. So. Should be a great weekend of matches. I don't think there'll be much in any of these games, Primey. All the best to you, mate. Anything else before we wrap up?
No, that's pretty much it for me. Like, obviously we're getting ready for the Kinloy, and then on the July 10, anyone looking to watch a game of footy that's not country champs, I think we're the only league on Eyre Peninsula that's playing that weekend. So, yes, if you're looking for a game of footy to watch on the 10th of July, come and watch Great Flinders.
I think there'll be some big crowds for that, mate. But all the best, Primey, for the weekend. We will catch up with you again next week to see how it all washes up.
No worries, Rex. Thanks.